I was being a little cheap there, so it's only fitting that I died in a bit of a cheap way. I was getting them through the wall, and they got me through the wall. Okay. Ha! I got a little something for you, buddy. All right. Back here again. Okay. Oh. Is there anything? Oh, I think I see some billy goat opportunities here. Oh, back here again. Now, I really got to be careful to not get stuck, though. That's the thing. As much as I like, but you know what? I got a rocket launcher. Yeah, I guess I can get stuck. It'll be okay. As long as I can kill myself. I mean, that's really what matters. If I can't kill myself, then yeah, I do have to really try to not get stuck. But as long as okay. And a light pole, just for good measure. I think I was already over here. Wasn't able to get up there. Okay, well, there's not really much to or maybe there is. Hold on a minute. Oh wow. Look at that. This map just looks cooler and cooler the higher up you get. How high can I go? Whoop, nope, nope. Okay. Ah, I made it. I made it. Can I go any higher? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like this might be the ceiling. No, I think it does probably go a little higher. Yes! Ha 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 ha! Who is the master? Who is the climbing master? Come on, admit it, it's me. Alright. Ooh, things get awfully glitchy up in these high altitudes. Oh, okay. Oh, I can see your grid room. Haha. Well, how about that, Mr. Perfect Custom Geo? I can see your grid room showing. Yep. Terrible Geo. Start over. I'm just kidding. Well, suffice to say, I think I've summited the mountain. Alright. Probably not going to get any higher. There's nothing... Yeah, there's nothing else up here. I've reached the top and had to stop, and that's what's been bothering me. Alright. Enough fooling around. I'm gonna get back to beating this level. Alright. Alrighty. So that opened up. Go through here, and then I'm back here at the statue, and then this. Okay. And it takes me back to this first room. Okay. Oh, time to fight some guys. I'm just gonna stock up on armor. What? These guys just keep teleporting. You think you can out-teleport my rockets, do ya? nailed me. Oop. Alrighty. Let's just go shoddy on him. Infurus. Oh, this guy again. I thought I already killed you. Guess I gotta kill you twice. Oh no, except this time you're gonna be teleporting even more. Okay. Okay. That's no problem. Because... oh, unless the game gets super freaking laggy. Oh no. Okay. Go. Yep, what? Oh, yeah. Well, I'm glad the music's finally changed up. Because this is actually a really damn good boss battle. I love how he keeps teleporting around. I mean, I hate it because it's hard, but I love it as a mechanic. It's wonderful. Such a good idea for a boss battle. Oh, and here's the fire. That's so cool in slow-mo. Oh, he disappeared. Oh no, not these guys. I hate lost souls. Oh, got a little laggy again. This dude's almost dead. And... done! Ho ho! Now what? Oh. You guys might as well just, yeah, just run away. Just run away. I beat your boss. You don't you crash the game now. Victory! Woo! Alright, where am I in the leaderboard? Deaths for... well, that actually wasn't too many deaths for how hard this level was. At least in the beginning, if you don't know what you're doing, for sure. Wow. Holy cow. That level was amazing. Alright, where am I on the leaderboard? Oh, voted up for sure. Single player custom geo campaign. I wish there was another category for freaking amazing custom geo, because that's what it would be, but yeah, that all looks good. I got number 4. That's pretty good. Alright. Wow. I'm going to subscribe to this right now. That was fantastic. Okay, that was E1M2, World of Torture Part 2. And I'm definitely going to be wanting to check out Part 1 because that was fantastic. Holy cow. What an amazing looking level. Dario Butelli really outdid himself with this one. My goodness, I've never seen custom geo that good ever. And there have been some pretty good custom geos, but that was just a straight up work of art. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. every single thing in this map is just beautiful to look at. Every single thing, and there's just so much, it's just so much detail put into every little aspect of the map. Every building had its own little unique characteristics and intricacies, and just some of the craziest stuff this author did, like making those fire pits out of the demon horns. Just the way that the author was able to use so many different props in such a unique way to create just this otherworldly looking arena. Just absolutely amazing. I mean, this totally raises the bar for me as far as what's possible to do in Snapmap, because wow, this is just, I can't get over how breathtakingly gorgeous the geo is. Hands down, best geo I've ever seen. The gameplay, was good. There were a lot of interesting mechanics, a lot of sort of puzzle elements to it in a way. I like how you had the author had the gore nests, and you had to blow up parts of the gore nest to get to it, to activate it. And so, you know, a lot of those little boss fights and things had those little puzzle challenges to them, and that was good. That was interesting. There's a lot of good action too, a lot of good fights. It did get a little laggy, and actually I'm understating that. It got a whole lot laggy. It got scary laggy. It got, oh my god, this game is going to crash and I'm going to lose my video feed laggy in certain parts. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. But yeah, the geo, I can't get over. I just can't get over it. But I'm going to have to get over it to finish the review and focus on the other aspects of the map. I love climbing around, and at first I thought that in this map I wasn't going to be able to do much climbing because a lot of the walls are really high, and it looked like the author kind of just didn't want to leave the player any kind of opportunity to climb around too much, which I can understand because in this map there's so many little areas that are sort of they've got that wall. They're kind of walled off with that red transparent barrier, where certain sections of the map are available for you to fight in, and you have to kind of activate switches and kill demons and sort of work your way into different areas of the map for those barrier walls to come down to give you access to new areas. So I see why the author made them structurally, why he built the map in that kind of a way where everything is super tall, so people like me don't manage to climb up any walls and kind of like jump around into areas they're not supposed to go. But that didn't stop me, did it? Because I am the Billy Goat Master. I can climb up anything. And that was fun. I mean, that was a lot of fun for me. And it's just amazing because even as I was climbing, it wasn't like you climb outside of a wall and you just see nothing but grid room. It was like as I kept climbing, like I was starting to notice more and more details that were just kind of like layered in the higher I was getting. So that was pretty cool. It was quite a little adventure. I really liked climbing around in this thing. It was difficult in that first area where you get the Revenant, where you get that pickup that turns you into a Revenant. It took me a minute to figure out what the heck was going on. I got that Baron of Hell was invincible, and I needed to take out the gore nests to make him vulnerable so I could continue. But the problem was it wasn't apparent to me at the time that I was supposed to be shooting the gore nests. And I know that that's sort of like a kind of a new thing that's real hip to do, is to put those kind of gore piles on top of the gore nests and make them destructible and teleport like a cacodemon or something into it, and then have it explode to make it look like chunks of gore are flying off of this gore nest as you're shooting it. The thing is, though, I think you have to be very, very clear to the player that that's kind of what they're supposed to be doing, because even though that's kind of a cool thing that some of us more well-traveled snap mappers might kind of think to do, that's probably not something that would be intuitive to just kind of a run-of-the-mill casual player who's maybe not too familiar with Snapmap. They might not just think to, oh, maybe I can just shoot that thing on top of the gore nest. I could see how in that part, I mean, it took me a while, and it's not the first time I've actually seen that used. I just didn't notice it, because honestly, there's so much. While I love all the geo and all the detail in this map, one downside to that is that you have so much cool geo to look at that it's actually really distracting from the things that you should be noticing, like certain aspects of the gore nest that I was supposed to blow up, because there's just so much stuff to look at. It's like, what is all this cool, unique stuff? Which of this mosaic tapestry of awesome stuff is supposed to be jumping out at me is the thing I'm supposed to be interacting with, is what I'm saying. Like the crucifix. Really cool. I like how you had that dynamic, but it was kind of hard for me to find, because it's not like this is a vanilla module and that was the only one thing that stood out that was different. Everything in this map is just constantly jumping off the screen at me at any given time. So it's just kind of like, what I'm trying to say is it's like a sensory overload, because there's so much geo that when you're asking me to find a very specific thing and interact with it, it's very hard. And it took me a minute, and I think it'd probably be a good idea to give the players some kind of give them maybe a little help finding certain things. Like maybe you could put a just food for thought. Maybe if after a certain amount of time the player hasn't found the crucifix or started blowing up the gore nests, you give them an objective. One of those little objective markers pops up to kind of point them in the right direction. Because I can see how in certain parts of this level, people can kind of run into a wall where they're like, okay, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, if they blink and they miss that text, the text that says, okay, go find the crucifix, because I don't think it ever comes back. It's just something you have to read and you have to remember, and it shows up at the beginning of, or is it the beginning? It shows up, and then I think you start to fight a bunch of demons and stuff. So you might forget that you saw it or forget that you read it, because after you're done fighting all those demons, you're all pumped up because you just had this massive fight, and you might forget that, oh yeah, that text pop-up said go do the crucifix thing. So I think it'd be a good idea to add like a little waypoint marker, a little HUD marker, just to kind of just point them in the right direction. I mean, it's not something that you really want a player to get stuck on, is searching for a certain thing that they're just supposed to interact with that you wouldn't necessarily assume that they would have a hard time finding, because you made the map and you know where everything's at. And maybe most people don't have a problem with it, but I gotta tell you, just there's so much stuff happening in this level that's amazing. Trying to find certain little things can be a problem. And it's not the type of problem that you want somebody to get snagged on. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get into my favorite, least favorite. My favorite thing about this map, hands down, should go without saying, is the geo. The geo is just out of this world. Literally. It looks like totally out of this world. Amazing. I can't imagine how long it took for Dario Butelli to build this level. I have to imagine it took a very long time. But it is completely amazing. It is just every corner of this map is just a work of art. And he definitely didn't phone it in as far as building up the custom geo, because the custom geo is fantastic. My least favorite thing about the map, aside from what I just talked about with sort of the easily overlooked sort of little objectives, for me, my least favorite thing was the lag. I don't know if this is going to affect everybody or if it's just unique to my experience or just being on a PlayStation 4. But when I got to that area that had like the cool statue and the crucifix and that kind of area, I had a big problem. And actually kind of throughout the entire map, I had a big problem with lag. Like the frame rate would drop so low. I swear it would drop down to like single digit numbers, and it would really choke up the game really bad. And it kind of took me out of the game. It like when you're in the middle of that battle and the frame rate drops like that, it's startling and jarring in a very bad way. It like in a take me out of the game, kind of scare me, like is this whole thing gonna crash? And I can't enjoy the game when that kind of stuff is going on with the frame rate. And I noticed that only happens with whenever there's a whole bunch of enemies in spawning at once. And I think it is unfortunately just an effect of the fact that these modules are so well made and so detailed and have so much custom geo stuff happening in them, that when you have that much physical stuff put into one module and you have that many demons, I think it's just too much on the system. I think you're kind of like pushing it beyond its breaking point in a way when you just cram that much stuff into one module, and it's just not running smoothly. Now, when there was only a handful of demons, like when there was only like 5 or 6, it actually ran pretty smooth. I didn't have any problems at all. But once you got up to that higher number, it just totally choked up the game. And I think the best thing to do, because you do have a lot of really weak enemies that kind of just are just added in, like you know you'll like you have the Barons and the Cyber Mancubuses and those strong guys, right? That are kind of like the meat of the fight. Like they're kind of what the fights are kind of all about, is those strong guys. But then you also have a bunch of like really weak, like possessed, literally low level first tier type of demons thrown in that that aren't challenging really. They're just there to get blown up. I mean, they don't really pose that much of a challenge. Like if I'm fighting 5 or 6 Barons of Hell, what is that extra Hellraiser gonna do? Nothing. He's inconsequential compared to those big guys that I'm fighting. So what I'm saying is, what I would do is, if you're concerned about the lag issue, which I would be, is just take out all those really low level guys, or just make sure that you never have more than 5 or 6 guys spawned at any given time. Because I think as long as you only have a handful of guys, a handful of demons fighting, that lag won't be a problem. But once you get up to those higher numbers, then it really does become a problem. And I think that one easy way to do it without kind of compromising what you got going on is just go through and just delete all those really low level guys, those low level those low level demons, because honestly, they're not adding anything to the map. They're not challenging. They're not difficult. They're literally only there to cause issues with lag, as far as I can tell. Like they're just there to choke up the game. So I would just try to cut those guys out and try to get rid of this lag issue. So there you have it. E1M2 World of Torture Part 2. Just breathtakingly good. I don't know what else to say. It's just fantastic map. So much to look at. And big kudos to Dario Butelli, the author. Thanks for recommending it. And I'm working down my list to the next recommended map, which will be The Absolution. And then after that, I'll be playing Eye of Horus. But this is obviously going to be like a 3 or 4 part video because it just went on for so long. But anyway, that's that fantastic map. I highly recommend it, especially if you have an appreciation for custom geo. This map is amazing. And if anyone else out there has a map they'd like to recommend for me to play, please leave it in the comments with the map code. Until next time, peace out.